Okay, so let's take this one step further. Okay, let's go put in here web design, and let's click find jobs. Okay, now web design, average salary 40,000, 80,000, 100,000, etc., etc. But again, I just want to share with you that you're going to have a rock solid skill set. So part of why I really what's the word I'm trying to think of? Part of the reason I teach what I teach is I want to teach you marketable skills that will make you money. So what do I mean by that? So there's a lot of you out there that send me feedback that say, well, I just want to design sites. I don't want to program. I just want to lay them out in Photoshop. Well, here's the problem with that type of thinking. And with all due respect to you, okay, I'm saying this with complete candor and respect to what you're saying. I have a lot of students that say, hey, I come from a print background. I don't want to learn CSS. I don't want to learn code. I don't want to learn jQuery. Well, guess what? If you don't learn those things, you're not going to be working because nobody's going to pay you just to do a mock-up. So here's my thinking. Let's think about this from a very practical standpoint. Part of the reason that I am so successful at what I do, I have a background in design, programming, sales, marketing, advertising, running a business. So as an example, when I go into a company, I'm a one-person wrecking crew. So I go and get jobs for $75,000, $150,000, $175,000 to build a web project where another company brings an entire team of people. Maybe they charge twice the amount. So based on my experience, the more you know, the better your possibilities is going to be to get work. So don't pigeonhole yourself. Don't say to yourself, well, I just want to design websites, or I just want to build HTML sites, or I just want to do mock-ups in Photoshop, because that's not going to happen. Now, to addendum that, yes, when you're dealing with sites that are $75,000, $100,000, $200,000 or more, yes, the larger companies are going to hire a designer, then a copywriter, then a GUI guy, a programmer, then an HTML5 expert, then a web animator, etc., etc. But you're talking about websites that go above $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 for your basic site that's going to run between, say, $2,500 and $50,000. They don't have the budget to hire a designer and a project manager and a Photoshop mock-up guy and an HTML guy. So you need to be jack of all trades. Now, using my simple techniques, that's a simple thing to accomplish. I want to be very candid with you. I have students that have made the most they've ever made in their life. Waiting tables was, say, $27,000 to $30,000 a year. Now they're making $60,000, $70,000 a year, which for some of you is still not enough, especially living here in New York City. That's peanuts. But so what happens with some of my students, which is kind of funny, I have students again that have made $27,000, $30,000 a year. Now they're making $60,000, $70,000 a year, and they get lazy. They work 8 months out of the year, and they go to Europe for 4 months. Okay, so don't fall into that trap. Unless you're getting ready to retire, you should constantly work yourself to make yourself $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year. It's a simple process, but you have to work for it. There's no free lunch here is what I'm trying to explain to you. Okay, so don't be so one-sided and myopic with understanding the market. So let's do this again. So let's go to web design, web development. If I can learn how to spell development, and let's get down here and click trends. So here's job market for, okay. So here's trends. Here's web design. Web development's on top, web design's on the bottom. So the difference being, designer has to then give their stuff to a developer. why not learn the skills by taking my all access A to Z course that's going to give you both skill sets? Because when you go into a company, they want to know that you can do it. Can you do HTML5 video? Can you do the JavaScript? Can you do the jQuery? Can you do the web animation, etc., etc.? Can you build me a phone app in addition to a desktop application? Can you make a fluid design for me? So the second they have to say, you have to tell them, well, I can do layouts and I can do some basic HTML5, but for the jQuery mobile and all that stuff, well, you're going to have to hire somebody else. They're not going to hire you because then they're thinking more expensive stuff. So again, I'm talking about sites between the $5,000 and $50,000 range. They don't have the budget to hire 5 and 6 and 10 different types of people. Okay, so I just want to be clear about that. So that's why it's important to get these skills under your belt. Okay, time's a ticking. Okay, it's very simple to make a lot of money with this, but you have to have the skill set to back it up. That's what my courses do for you. So again, here's job trends. Let's look at salaries. Salaries between a quote-unquote web designer and a quote-unquote web developer. Web developer does the programming. Web designer does the mockups, the layouts, etc., 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 or a combination of both. Okay, so let's click here down to salaries, and let's compare web development. I just love this tool. This is such a great tool and view salaries. Okay, now it's roughly about the same. So if you're going to spend all your time doing mockups and some basic HTML and CSS, and then give it to a JavaScript jQuery guy for all the cool stuff, well, again, you're selling yourself short. So you should get to know both processes. That's going to help you every step of the way. Okay, so let's take this one step further. Let's compare that to HTML5, and just for shits and giggles, CSS3, and let's compare that to jQuery. Oh, let's remove that one. View salaries. Okay, so right here, they're about the same. Okay, so why would you want to shoot yourself in the foot by saying, well, I'm just a designer, or I'm just a developer guy, or I'm an HTML person, or I'm a jQuery person? Because one-stop shopping is what my course is going to do for you. Okay, so let's go back to the home page on this. Just delete this, come up here. I think this is just a great tool. And here basically will show you the last couple of things that I went and found. Okay, so let's go back to WordPress. Find jobs. Okay. Now again, this site is similar to other job sites. You can post your resume, but what I'm trying to share with you guys, don't fall into that trap. Now, for those of you that say, well, I need benefits, hey, I assume you're younger than I am. I'm 53. I run in the park. I know my voice sounds horrible because I have a problem with my vocal cords, but I'm in fairly good shape. I'm actually 20 pounds overweight, but hey, what do I go to a doctor for checkups, but I don't get sick. So why get caught up in this whole, I need health care, I need benefits? If you're a young person, 20, 30, 40s, what do you care about that? And if you're making so much money, buy your own health insurance. So again, don't get so caught up in for the fear factor for you guys that think, well, I need that job security. Well, guess what? If you have a job right now doing anything, whether it's selling cars, working in a restaurant, working in an office, an accountant, don't quit your day job to do this. Gradually build up a process here. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to share with you. Okay, so we get WordPress jobs here. If you go down here to say trends, this is going to show you the trends for those particular jobs. Now, over here iOS for Macintosh. So let's do a trend for iOS, which I'm going to be releasing all kinds of courses on that in 2003, which again will be part of my All Access Bundle class. Okay, so basically all the stuff you need to know: phone gap building, iOS, iPhone, Android building. So let's compare a couple of things. So let's say iOS and Android. Find trends. In fact, let's put in there mobile apps, which is kind of the same thing, but we'll just play their silly game here. Okay, Android is way down here, buried on the bottom. Okay, mobile apps are here. iOS Macintosh stuff is way up here. So that's cool, a cool thing to be able to have. Now, Puppet applications and these things you're probably not aware of. I wouldn't worry about that stuff right now. Let's add to that social media. So let's type in comma social media, which of course, if you learn how to spell that, which my course will definitely teach you. If you take my master class, I will teach you how to spell social media. See, I can assure you no other computer class out there is going to teach you how to spell social media. In fact, my course will teach you to do social media uppercase, lowercase, and also initial caps. So check that out. Hey, I'm having fun with you. Okay, so I'm sorry. I just thought that was funny. Okay, so I'm going to find trends here. Now, social media, according to this, is gone to the roof too. But here's the proof in the pudding. Let's click down here under salaries. So let's do cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste, and view salaries. Okay, now here's something very interesting. Social media went through the roof as far as trends go. So if you flash back to that previous screen, well, actually, I guess I can't do that. But social media was basically, if you rewind the video, you'll be able to see that. Okay, but look at the salary difference here. Look at the salary for iOS. Again, that's not saying what I want to share with you guys. Don't get so caught up on the full-time job. This is a good gauge for the salary requirements. So again, if someone is going to pay you $90,000 to build Macintosh, iPad, iPhone apps, what do you think they're making? I guarantee if they're paying you $90,000, they're probably getting paid $500,000, $400,000 to $500,000 for your grunt work. So don't fall into that trap. I just want to share with you, I'm going to be producing and releasing a ton, an absolute ton of new videos in 2013 that are specifically geared for teaching you the marketable skills, how to get freelance work, how to keep a customer. I'm going to keep you guys on your toes, okay, every step of the way. The whole objective of my courses is one simple thing: to teach you capital M marketable skills that will make you money. That's why I don't teach Flash. In fact, let's type in Flash and find jobs. So here's Flash. Let's click down here for trends. Boom. Since 2011, it's been tanking. Okay. Now let's click under salaries. And you'll see that Flash jobs, yeah, okay, $73,000. That's nothing to squawk at. But unfortunately, the market is mobile. Mobile market in general does not support Flash application. iPad never will, iPhone never will. So the Flash market, in fact, if you look at what Adobe is doing, which I'm an Adobe beta tester, that's why they're going into programs like Adobe Edge, which is HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript jQuery based. That's the future of interactive websites. Is not Flash, it's Adobe Edge. Now, I didn't do this, but just so we can, let's type in here Adobe Edge. Actually, let's find jobs. Okay, now this is probably not going to come up. Let me put in some quotation marks here. And let's click down here to trends. this, yeah, okay, look at this. Adobe Edge. Adobe Edge, the market since January 012, January 2012, big, can't speak, has gone through the roof. But let's look at the salaries for that. Okay, 61,000. Again, that's kind of not fair because Adobe Edge is really not something you search for. It's more jQuery mobile, that type of stuff. So if you were to do jQuery mobile, so here's jQuery mobile, and again, 5,000 jobs globally. So here's jQuery mobile, and if I come down here to trends, you'll see that that's really up there through the roof. Okay, so it's basically on the upswing. And if you click salaries, so here's jQuery mobile versus HTML5 versus iOS. Okay, so they're right about the same. Okay, actually that's for Alabama. Okay, so that's mobile Alabama. I don't know why that came up there. So let's delete that. That was very strange. And find salaries. So let's do jQuery mobile and HTML5 and iOS and find salaries. Now, why this keeps defaulting to mobile Alabama is beyond my thinking. So they're about the same, okay? But again, definitely, guys, the best thing you can do for yourself is invest into my technique, my courses. Okay, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I have a very, very successful business in New York City. I'm totally self-started. I taught all the software to myself back in 1987, 90s, etc., etc. I'm constantly bettering my skill set. I'm here to help you every step of the way, but you have to help yourself. So hopefully this shares some light on the whole job market and what I'm trying to do for you guys. So if you're not part of my bundle course, you're really shooting yourself in the foot, guys, because that's the best value I offer. And it's the most marketable skill set to have. No offense to the guys that sign up for the free class on Udemy, but I want to be extremely candid with you. A free class, anybody's free class, is not going to give you the marketable skill set that you need to make serious money. Okay, so I realize that a lot of you are out of budget. Some of my courses are very inexpensive, but let's dream a little for a second. Let's say, as an example, that I actually charged $2,000 for my courses, which I don't. I do charge that in New York City for my personal private one-on-one classes. But let's say that my courses on Udemy was $2,000, which for some of you is like cuckoo crazy money. But if you compare $2,000 or $3,000, when in return you can make $20, $50, $100, $200,000 a year, then my courses are cheap. So let's think about how much money you guys spent going to college. And how did that work out for you? Now, I'm not going to compare what I do to college because I think college is important because it teaches us about social skills and how to be adults and interact with people. So I think any college degree is valid and very important. But let's think about all the people out there that have spent, or parents, I should say, have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars or $50,000, $60,000 to go to school. So these are marketable skill sets to have. So I can't overemphasize this enough. If you're not part of my complete A to Z bundle course, you're really doing yourself a disservice because I'm going to be doing a lot great, cool techniques for basically how to basically price your freelance work, to how to learn the most marketable skill set. So again, I appreciate your time. Have a good day. Look forward to talking to you soon. Carpe diem.